Hey, it's Kibo-chan, and I'm here to talk about the Myers-Briggs and Jungian cognitive functions, especially the cognitive functions, really. So I wanted to do a video about understanding the cognitive functions that accompany the Myers-Briggs, because while a lot of people know about the 4 letters of the Myers-Briggs type, it seems to me that not a lot of people know about the 8 Jungian cognitive functions that accompany it. So, I wanted to do a video to give people a little bit more understanding about that, and so beforehand I went and made sure that there weren't any other videos like this, because I didn't want to have duplicate videos running around on YouTube, because that's kind of cheating. And I found a series of videos by a guy called Omar FW123. It's called something like MBTI 101 and the cognitive functions, something like that. I'm going to put a link to those videos in my information in the description. But he did a really great job of giving an overview of the cognitive functions and how they determine your Myers-Briggs type, and really how the Myers-Briggs type is really just a way of getting to the functions, which are really the meat of the personality type. But there are a few things that he left out, and being a judger, unlike him, he was a perceiver, I wanted to tie up all the loose ends. So a few things that he didn't talk about were how to be able to figure out your cognitive functions without taking a test. If you know your Myers-Briggs type, you can figure out the model functions of your type without looking them up, and you can figure out the functions of any type once you learn this formula that I'm about to teach you. And once you get the hang of it, you can do it on any type, and it's really easy. But it took me a long time to figure out how to do this, because all the articles that I read about this were very highfalutin and really just, I couldn't understand a word. So it took a long time to figure out how to do it, but I made a little notebook thingy that I'm going to flip around and show you how to do it. And and then after I get done with this, showing you how to figure out the cognitive functions, or the model cognitive functions for your type, then I'm going to get into talking about what the different cognitive functions are, which Omar FW123 didn't talk about in his video, such as the difference between introverted thinking and extroverted thinking, that kind of stuff. So first of all, I'm going to talk about how to just dissecting the 4 letters in terms of the cognitive functions. So here I have INFJ, which is my type, and so we have introversion, which is going to determine the direction of the functions. Your first function is always going to be the same direction as the direction of your type. So I'm an introvert. INFJ type is introverted. So you know automatically that the first function in your 4 cognitive functions is going to be in the introverted direction. So to figure out your first function, take a look at this letter over here. It's going to be J or P. So depending on whether this is J or P, we're going to take a look at these 2 letters right here. Now, intuition and sensing are considered perceiving qualities, because they have to do with the way that we perceive the world. Intuitors are people that perceive the world as a series of connections, whereas sensors are people that perceive the world as a series of facts and data. And meanwhile, feeling and thinking are they are judging functions. So because they are the way that we pass judgment upon things and we make decisions. Feelers make decisions based upon their feelings and their values, and how those decisions are going to affect themselves and others. And thinkers make decisions based on what's logically the best thing to do and the pros and cons of the situation from a logistical standpoint. So we take a look at this J over here, and because this is judging, we are going to take a look at this F. because that is the judging quality in the INFJ. But here's the kicker here, and I probably should have started off with an extroverted quality. So you know what? Screw that. We're just going to start off with an extroverted quality because it's easier for a beginner to do it extroverted. So when you have an extroverted person, you take the judging quality, because an ENFJ is a judger. The judging quality is an F. So their first function is going to be FE, because they're a judger and they're extroverted. So FE is their first quality. Then to find their next cognitive function, you go over to the other side, and you go to it in the other direction. So their next quality is NI, introverted intuition. Then you stay on the same side and you do the opposite direction and also the opposite function. So what was it? Extroverted sensing is an ENFJ's next quality, next cognitive function. Then you go back over to this side and do the one in the opposite direction from the previous function that you just figured out. So we haven't done thinking yet on this in this case. So thinking is going to be introverted for an ENFJ. So we just figured out all of the cognitive functions of the ENFJ, and those, I think I'm going to put those as a little caption on the bottom of the page. So what happens when we make the ENFJ an INFJ? Now this is where it gets a little tricky, because whereas with the ENFJ we took the judging quality and made it the first primary function, with introverts we switch and we actually go to the perceiving quality for the first function. So introverted intuition is actually the first cognitive function of the INFJ, not introverted feeling. This is something that is a little tricky, and you have to get used to remembering that you're going to want to, because you know that feeling is the judging quality and INFJ is the judges, you want to go FI, but it's actually NI, because with introverts you have to go to the opposite one. So NI, then FE, TI, and SE. So we've done a lot of judgers so far, so let's switch over to an INFP. So, actually let's do an ENFP. ENFPs are perceivers, so we're going to go over to the perceiving category, which is either N or S, in this case an N. So, because they're extroverted, we're going to stay on this quality. NE is going to be their first cognitive function. Then we're going to go over here, and FI, going to stay on there. TE is going to be their next one, and then SI will be their last. Then we have the INFP. They're a perceiver, so we're going to go over to this quality, but they're introverted. So back over here, and you get the hang of it. So FI, NE, SI, and TE. So that is the basic. I feel like I left out those sensors and the thinkers, so just for fun, here you are, guys. But so that's how you can figure out your functions and the functions of any type. Hopefully this made sense. It makes sense to me. But so in the next part I'm going to be talking about what the cognitive functions actually do, like the difference between an introverted feeler and extroverted feeler, that kind of thing, which wasn't covered in the Omar FW 123 video. So, ISTP. Okay, see you on the other side.